Hello, Pastor.
Ngoni, how are you?
No, I'm doing very well. I hope that you're in good health.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
So as I was reading my Bible
Yes.
some time back, I was reading around the law. And
The law.
Yes, the law.
Okay.
And I managed to pick up some details, but then I was troubled along the way as I was not fully understanding what the Bible was trying to tell me.
Okay.
So tell me, Pastor, is the law still binding?
Oh.
Or are we free from the law?
All right. It's not only you. You may be happy to know that a lot of people also do have the same question.
Yes.
So many also do believe that as Christians we are free to do whatever we want to do. God will somehow just save us. I'm not saying we are saved by keeping the law.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, as per your question, is the law still binding?
Is it binding?
Let me just put it straight and say, yes, it is still binding. Maybe I'll explain later if time allows, but I just need to be straight and cut it straight and say, yes, the law is still binding. I'll read some texts and then see if we can make sense out of them. John 14, verse 15, Jesus says to his disciples and to us as well, if you love me, keep my commandments. This is Christ. Okay? It's very difficult for you to claim to love Christ, yet you do not want to obey him. It's a paradox. And I've had so many Christians, they easily fall into that trap. That because we are now in Christ, we no longer need to be obedient. Okay? John 15, verse 14 says, you are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. You can only be Christ's friend
if you do
what he commands you.
Yes.
So it becomes very difficult for me to say the law is no longer binding. Yet Christ is saying, only my friends will do what I command them to do. James 2, verse 10, 11, and 12. Verse 10, for whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he who said, do not commit adultery, also said, do not kill. Now, if you commit no adultery, yet if you kill, you are become a transgressor of the law. Verse 12 is the one that I want us to pay particular attention to. So speak ye, and do as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. All Christians believe a judgment is coming.
Yes.
But they don't want to spell it out and say what will be the standard of that judgment. What is it that God will, what will be his measuring rod? For him to say, Ngoni, you are being saved. Madzorera, you are being lost. What is it that God will be using? So James is saying we are all going to be judged by the law.
By the law.
And he calls it the law of liberty because those commandments, especially the 10 commandments, if you follow them, you are free. If you don't steal,
if you follow the commandments,
you're free. You are free. You don't even worry if the policeman is coming towards you.
You're free.
You're free. But if you don't follow those commandments, I can tell you are living in prison. The moment you see a policeman as if he's watching you, you want to
run away.
Yeah, you run away. That's why, we are saying freedom can only be found in obedience. The guilty are always afraid. And according to Solomon, they run away when no one is even pursuing them. So that's why James is saying we are all going to be judged by the law of liberty. So it's difficult for us to say the law is now null and void. It is the same standard which God is going to use to judge us. Okay? Not only that, you may also want to read Revelation 14. Let me start with 12, verse 17. Revelation 12, verse 17, and then I'll read 14, verse 12. Revelation 12, verse 17. I'm deliberately using the New Testament because so many people will say that's an Old Testament thing. In the New Testament, we are now free. We no longer need the law. Okay? Revelation 12, verse 17, it says here, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. The book of Revelation, Ngoni, we call it an eschatological book. It's a book which deals with events in the last days. So John was shown in the last days. There was a group of people whom God refers to as the remnant. Okay? How do we identify them? They keep the commandments of God and they have the testimony of Jesus.
They keep the law.
They keep the law and they believe that Christ saves them. But there are people who only want salvation in Christ, but they don't want to obey
the law.
You see. But here the remnant, they have two, both things. They keep the commandments and they also have the testimony of Jesus. Revelation 14 verse 12, almost similar to that one. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Almost similar to Revelation 12 verse 17. So the saints, how do you know a saint?
They keep
the commandments and they have the faith of Jesus. Revelation 22, finally, verse 14. Yes. Blessed are they that do his commandments, so that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Blessed are those who do his commandments. Those are the ones that are going to have the right to enter in through the gates into the city. So coming back to your question, is the law still binding?
Yes.
Yes,
it is
still
binding.
binding.
Pastor, I want to thank you for shedding light onto the matter.
Yeah.
If I have any more questions,
Please feel free.
I'll come back.
Definitely.
As usual.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor.
Okay.